Let's go through the book WikiChurch by Steve Morell. I encourage you to pick it up on Amazon.com and read through it. If you're doing this as a group, it'll be great to really help us to ask the right questions about us as a church. In this first video, we're just going to give a quick intro, and then in the next videos, we'll tackle 2 chapters at a time. Steve Morell is the pastor at Victory Church in Manila. It's an incredible church, went from 165 university students to more than 52,000 members in a span of about 25 years, and it's still growing, just leaps and bounds. Here's why he calls the book WikiChurch. Might remind you of Wikipedia. Here's a story of Wikipedia. In 2000, these 2 guys started an online encyclopedia, and they called it Newpedia, but their goal was for it to only include contributions written by experts. After 3 years, only 24 articles were written. And then on the other side of it, they started letting non-experts contribute. And in 1 year, over 20,000 articles were created. And that's the whole idea behind WikiChurch. Imagine if every believer, not just the experts, did ministry. That's a WikiChurch, and that's the book of Acts, and that's also Victory Manila, and we want that to be our church as well. And here's how Steve Morell says to do it. He talks about his sons who play tennis, and their coach, Tom, would say, you want to win? Then you have to master the same old boring strokes. Up, down, up. That's how you create topspin, and topspin is your friend. Nothing fancy. Same old boring strokes. And the author says, you want to make disciples? It doesn't require anything fancy, just the same old boring strokes, and we'll learn these 4 things that they use in their church, and we'll relate it to our church. Engage, establish, equip, and empower, and that's for every single believer to do. Jesus told his followers that he would build his church, and one of the last things he said was to go and make disciples. It's that simple. We make disciples, he builds the church. We do not build the church, and he does not make disciples. Now, this book is partly about the discipleship process, but it's also about the importance of creating a discipleship culture. And as we go through the books in the next several videos, encourage you to make sure, if you're doing this with a small group or discipleship group, to pause it whenever you need to, talk about it, discuss it, talk about how it relates to our church, talk about how it relates to your own life, and maybe do that right now before you go on to the next video. Pause it here on these 2 highlighted sections, and talk a little bit about these statements that Steve Morell makes before you move on to the next video.